You want to know the quickest way to go viral on social media? Rage baiting. All you have to do is create a buzz, get someone shocked, get them feeling like, what the hell is going on? And then, bam, you got them locked in. So I need you to know you're a victim of rage baiting, and it's only going to get worse, way worse before it gets.
I am back! What it do, baby?
Let me first start by saying that I am not making these videos to embarrass anyone. This is for educational purposes only, and it's to really give you some context so you guys can stop being mad, stop being upset, and so you can stop thinking that cosmetologists are maids. My clients, if they wanted to look like this, they had to first come without matting, without tangles, and all of those things, because I'm not a maid, I'm a cosmetologist. Let's break that down.
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed. So yeah, I booked an appointment to get a silk press on Monday or Tuesday. Okay. I found this lady on Instagram. The business is called Round Brush Salon in Katy, Texas. Address 25145 Star Lane, Suite 901. I spoke to Goldie. I guess that was the name. So I told her that I can do Friday or Saturday. She told me an appointment, so I chose Saturday. She gave me a few option times. The times I wanted, they were already taken. So she told me to come at 5 on Saturday. So I took my faux locks down last night. Now let me tell you something. A few things I don't play about. Hannah, my money, and my hair. Okay? Every person I have found to do my hair in Houston has sucked. The beauticians here suck. Except for one girl. I'm lying. One girl. The girl did my quick weave. She was cool. So I'm headed to my appointment. I'm excited. I took my hair down yesterday. You know when you take faux locks down, it got the build up. So I had already combed out the build up. Now the lady had asked me, cause the silk press, what she call it blowout, is $95 and up on natural hair. So she said, but it can go up depending on how much hair you got. How much hair you got or something, she was saying. So she asked me how long my hair was. I told her. And she asked me if I had recently taken out any braids, faux locks, twists. I told her, yeah. I said, I got faux locks in. I said, but I'm taking them out the night before. So she booked me for Saturday at 5 p.m. Now she did make a statement saying, when clients take out, she said something of the impression like, when you take out faux locks, hair has to be washed, detangled, and washed again. Okay, so I think that's a procedure. I'm like, that's weird. I ain't never heard it. I ain't never seen it, but I guess they got to wash it, detangle it, and wash it again. It's just a procedure. Okay, I'm not thinking nothing of it. Get to the hair appointment, I'm excited. I'm like, I'm gonna get my silk press. I done had them faux locks in for 7 weeks. Like, I'm ready to see my hair, all that kind of stuff. I had my hair 2 buns. I had to take it down because they walked into the boat. It was a guy walking into the boat.
How did she pausing?
So he going through my hair. He was like, did you just take something out of your hair? I was like, yeah, I just took some faux locks out. He was like, normally she doesn't do your hair if you just took faux locks out. So I'm like, what you mean? I told y'all that I was gonna take some faux locks out. He was like, yeah, it normally has to be washed and detangled. I said, oh, y'all wanted me to wash and detangle it? He was like, yeah. He's like, well, let me go ask her and see. So she comes in there and she looks through my hair. And she was like, even though it doesn't look like it needs to be detangled right now, we can't wash your hair because you have to wash and detangle it, and then we come behind you and wash it again. I said, what? I said, what do you mean I have to? Now, mind you, these people is $100+ So why would I wash and detangle my own hair when y'all finna wash and detangle it anyway? It's natural hair. When natural hair get wet, when you wash it, you have to go and detangle it out because it's natural. She said, yeah, because it's going to take too many hours. Now, mind you, this lady ain't black. This lady, like, probably Dominican or something. She ain't black, for sure. I don't think she was Hispanic. Beautiful work on Instagram. I said, I've never heard of that before. I said, why would the client have to wash and detangle their hair and then you come directly behind them and wash and detangle it again? Because when you have braids, it makes the process, when you just have braids, it makes the process longer. Every beautician does that. I said, no, they don't. I said, ma'am, I've been getting my hair, I've been going to a beauty salon since I was 8 years old. Anytime I'm taking braids out of my hair, I said, I can see if I ask you to take the braids down, that's different. Or if I came in here with braids still in here, that's different. I said, but if you're about, I said, why would I have washed my hair last night and detangle it, and you would come back the next day, less than 24 hours later, and wash my hair again? She said, that's the possibility text you that. I said, no, you did not say you as the client. She said, what difference does it make if I put you or not? A huge difference! I'm so mad, y'all. And my braid appointment after next week. I'm not good at silk pressing my own hair. That's why I pay people to do it. Do you know they sent me out the salon so they want to do my hair? I'm trying to tell you, like, ma'am, I got stuff to do. I don't know about else that can do my silk press real quick. It's Saturday, past 5 p.m. She said, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should have washed and detangled your hair first before we can even touch it. I'm so tired of these beauticians in Houston. Look at my head. Look at my head. Y'all do not go to Round Brush Salon in Katy, Texas. For every beautician do that. And if they don't, they charge extra. I said, ma'am, no they don't. No they don't. I've never heard of it. If you just took out some braids or some lines, you have to wash your own hair and detangle it. Then I'm gonna come behind you and redo it. I ain't never heard of it. And sometimes they charge extra. Since when? Tell me, I've been doing hair for 25 years. How long you been doing hair? I nobody ever did that before. I'm so mad. I don't like to be walking around my hair looking like this. We tell people this all the time, whether you decide to read it or you just plan on ignoring it. I said, don't you think if you would have specifically said you as the client have to wash your hair first and detangle it first before we touch your hair, don't you think I would have did it? And if I would have did that, I would have told y'all just flat iron, because there's no point in y'all rewashing it because I'm natural. You don't wash black people natural hair back to back in less than 24 hours. I'm just disgusted. I really wanted to cut up in their salon. Y'all don't understand. But it was other people in there I ain't want to start them, and I'm already black. I ain't want to start nobody. I was the only black person in there. Everybody else was Hispanic, Dominican, whatever they was. I'm done. Bye, y'all. If you know anybody in Houston that can do some real sick presses and my hair ain't gonna blow up in an hour, please let me know who it is. Please tag them. Please send me their number. Because I'm tired of these.
Now, this could seem like I'm being rude, or it could be a lot for some people, but stop with your offense and listen. This client that's right here in my chair, her hair looks like that because before she came and sat in my chair, she had just taken out box braids. And the appointment that she booked was 1 hour and 30 minutes. That was the appointment that she booked. That's all the time that I had. But if she had just taken down her braids and she had not detangled her hair properly, it had not been shampooed, it had not been detoxed, and it had not been de-shedded and all of those things, instead of her appointment taking me an hour and a half, it would have taken me like 2.5 hours. Because contrary to popular opinion, a black woman who just took out braids that has not combed her hair or anything like that, or just ran most likely her fingers or something through her hair and has not shampooed it, you need a complete detox. You know why? Most likely the braids that you put in your head were put in with edge control, with heavy oils, butters, and greases, and your hair will need to be completely detoxed. And a detox is going to take almost an hour after you got your hair done. So let's unpack this, right? You guys have to get into this mind frame of cosmetologists are not your maids. And we also have to get out of this mind frame that doing hair is easy, because you guys see women like this that are rage baiting you guys on social media all the time, to the point that you think that real hair care and real hairstyling is like that. You think that everything is instant, but the reality of it is most black women do not understand the reality of a hair salon. I also want you to keep in mind that that woman was someone who really, really needs help mastering her hair growth cycle. And our video sponsor, Simple Apothecary, me, can help you with that. So make sure you check the link in the description box below, or simply go on Amazon and type in Sin Smith and my new book will pop up. And no, this is not an ebook. This is a real life journal that you can hold in your hand. And not only is it a journal that you can write in, it is planned out to help you master your hair growth cycle. But we'll unpack that in a video coming really soon. But if you want to get your hands on it before that video, make sure you get it. Link in the description box below. But again, I have a full video on the journal really soon, but get your hands on it real quick so you'll have it by the time the video comes. But I digress. Again, her hair had already been shampooed and detangled. It probably wasn't the day before, the day of. She probably did it a couple of days before her appointment. But she did not walk into my studio with tangled, matted, dirty hair. Or she did not come sit in my chair directly after or immediately after she took her braids out. You know why? That's not my job description, and that is not what she booked. Now, there are certain cosmetologists that do offer a detangling service, but I need you to understand that my standard silk presses would take me about an hour and a half. So when they booked their appointments, it was only an hour and 45 minutes that they had blocked out. Just an hour and 45 minutes. But let me explain something to you. If you just took your braids down and all you did was maybe run a comb through it, you need an appointment that is about an extra hour on top of that hour and a half. You know why? Because you've had braids in for 7 weeks. There are only 4 weeks in a month, right? So when you take out those braids, you need your scalp detoxed, you need your hair shaft detox. Not to mention, most women who get braids go to braiders that use heavy oils, heavy polymers like edge control, and all of the things. And you, on top of having all of those polymers in your hair, I know for a fact, as a black woman, especially the way she was talking, she put grease and oil and stuff in her scalp every day. So the scalp and the hair shaft is full of so much gunk. And a blowout salon, they need weightless hair. The only thing they're putting in your hair after they shampoo and condition it is leave-in conditioner, and then heat protector when they blow dry. But guess what? If your hair has not been shampooed and it has not been properly detoxed, then your hair will look freaking crazy. And then you'll be filing disputes. You'll be on YouTube, you'll be on Instagram, you'll be on TikTok talking about the hair salon, saying that your hair didn't come out right. Whole time your hair has not been shampooed in 7 weeks, and there are only 4 weeks in the month. So you cannot get mad that you go into a salon to book a service that's about an hour and a half and they turn you away because you have now added an additional hour to your service. They don't have time for that. You know why? Because after that 1 hour and 45-minute spot is up, the very next client is coming in. And see, this is the difference. She said that the woman that was doing her hair was not black, but see, this is the difference. You go into a black salon and you do that, that black woman is still going to take you because she feels bad. And then guess what's going to happen? Instead of your appointment being an hour and a half, now you've thrown her schedule off and you've added an extra hour and some change. So guess what? When that next client that comes in, let's say your appointment was at 1 o'clock and your appointment's supposed to be over around 2:30. Let's say her next client's coming in at 2:45, but guess what? If your appointment was at 1:30 but you didn't properly you didn't comb your hair, you didn't shampoo it after you took your braids out, and you need a de-shedding, detoxification, and detangling appointment before the silk press, then guess what? That lady that comes in, she has to wait over an hour. Why? Because you've added an hour onto your service. So the majority of black women think this way. So in a day, it's not just one person adding on an hour, it's almost every last client, because all black women think that cosmetologists are maids. The majority of black women won't comb their hair for months, and the first time that a comb or a brush is being added to their hair is when a cosmetologist does it. Now, a few of you will hear me talking and be like, that's not true. You cannot tell me that my lived experience is not true, because it is. That's one of the main reasons that I decided to go to school to do something else, so I could eventually step away from behind the chair, because the majority of black women think that cosmetologists are their maids. You do. But see, the difference between a black salon and other salons, they don't play that. And then everything at other salons is a la carte. So at a black salon, you're like, okay, I want a flat iron. In your mind, a shampoo, a condition, a deep condition, a trim, detangling, all of that stuff is automatic in the price. It doesn't work like that in other salons. It only works like that in the black salon. Only in the black salon. Other salons, it's you getting a shampoo, a condition, and a flat iron. Okay, if you a trim, that's going to be extra. A deep conditioning, that's going to be extra. A detangling, dematting appointment, that's going to be extra. When certain women like go in to get hair covered, most of them walk out with wet hair, and they'll pay $1,200 for hair color and walk out with wet hair. They paid $1,200 because they got their hair color, they got a deep conditioning treatment, either a Olaplex treatment or a K19, K18, K19, whatever treatment, and then they got a haircut or a trim, and then they walk out. They're like, I don't need to pay the extra for the blowout. I could blow dry my own hair when I get home. But it's a la carte. But black women, you guys really, really believe that it is the cosmetologist's job to do all of the things for your hair. If you don't feel like detangling your own hair, because this is the thing, the reason that you didn't detangle your own hair, the reason you didn't shampoo your own hair and all of that stuff is because it was a lot of work, it's too much, and you don't feel like doing it. So you want to pay somebody else to do it, and you think that because you're offering money, that the person that you're offering money is now obligated to do whatever you're offering them money for. And that's not how it works, especially if you're a black woman that's walking into a salon that is not a black salon. They don't do that. So the woman that was like, where they do that at? They don't do that. Yes, they do. They've been doing it for years. But, and a lot of y'all not going to like it when I say this, the majority of the time when we're talking about a black hair salon, the majority of hair salons that y'all are going to, those women are trying to get money by any means necessary. So yeah, you're an irritating, unruly client. Yes, your hair is matted, it's tangled, it's dirty, it hasn't been shampooed in 8 weeks. They're not going to turn you away. You know why? Because they have to pay booth rent. They still need the money, so they're still going to do it. whether it's a part of their service or not. So when I was standing behind the chair, that was one of my policies and procedures. Literally exactly what that chick was complaining about. I used to have women write negative Yelp reviews about me on a regular basis, because unless you book a detangling, a detoxification, and a de-shedding appointment, I'm not automatically doing that. You're not just going to add an extra hour to my day just because you refuse to comb your own hair. And I know this is a conversation that a lot of people don't necessarily want to have, but it's one that needs to be had, because most of black women, when you go online now, it's like, oh my God, there are no good cosmetologists, there are no good hairstylists. I know for a fact that there are, because I know them personally, but none of them want to be promoted on YouTube. None of them want to be promoted on Instagram or anything. They want to find clients the old school way, from word of mouth. You know why? Because when they get women that come in from YouTube, from Twitter, from TikTok, from X, from TikTok, and all of the things, they get women like the one that you just watched. That is the difference when we're talking about white salons and other and Hispanic salons and all of the things. It don't work like that. Only in the black salon can you come in there and you haven't shampooed your hair in 6 months, and you think that the person who's doing your hair is obligated to detangle your hair, de-shed it, detoxify your scalp, and all of that thing without complaining or anything. Absolutely not. Not to mention, if y'all listen to what she said at the beginning, they had policy and procedures before she even got there. Before she got there, she saw their website, and their website explained your hair needs to be detangled and shampooed, especially if you just took braids out. It needs to be shampooed before you get here. It needs to be shampooed before the appointment. Then she called on the phone, and they told her the same thing over the phone. Then she still said, oh, I know they ain't telling me I gotta do it. Yes, that's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. That doesn't even make sense. Why would they tell you, oh, I'm gonna shampoo your hair first, and then I'm gonna shampoo it again, and that's the only way I'm gonna be able to do your hair? That is crazy. So they told you ahead of time. You thought that you were still gonna be able to go up in their salon and strong arm them. And they were like, no, my policy is right here, and I told you over the phone. So then you argue with her, and you go back and forth with her about policies that were already expressed to you before you walk through the door. And then they had to turn you away and put you out. And then you go on TikTok and you put the name of the salon out there, and you put them on blast to try to hurt their business or to try to spread negativity about this hair salon, as if they did something wrong, and they did absolutely nothing wrong. Policies are policies. If they say, I don't want to do your hair right after you took braids out, and you want to go to a person who wants that is willing to detangle, detox, and de-shed your hair without charging you, well, guess what? You need to go to somebody like that. And these are, in my opinion, one of the main reasons that it's so hard for Black women to find cosmetologists, why it's so hard for Black women to really, really have a healthy hair pattern and a healthy hair regimen, because there's always arguments. And as a cosmetologist, you can't win for losing. We spend our time going up against and arguing with y'all about Team Natural stuff and all of the things, and no, this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad, and all of that. And then on top of that, you think that you can go into a hair salon and dictate how they run their business. And I love y'all, but black hair and having natural hair, I'm doing a quotation marks with my finger, does not equal unkept. It doesn't. And untamed. It does not. Just because you're a Black woman does not mean that you have to walk into a hair appointment with dirty, matted, funky hair. When we went to cosmetology school, there is no page within our cosmetology book that's like how to deal with hair that hasn't been shampooed in 6 months. No, that's not normal. And the majority of women do not know how to deal with that. Why? Because not shampooing your hair for months at a time is not normal. Not combing your hair and having matted, tangled hair is not normal. There's no part of state board where we're tested like, okay, on this module, this part of your state board exam, how to detangle matted hair that hasn't been combed in 6-7 months. That's not normal. It's not. If you find cosmetologists, because there are amazing cosmetologists that are passionate about that, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? They're passionate, like, hey, if you haven't detangled your hair, or if you don't want to do it, or blah 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 blah, here's an extra little fee and I'll do it for you. But to just be expecting it is absolutely insane. It is. It really is. Especially because it doesn't take that much effort. It doesn't. And again, if you don't want to take the time for yourself, you love yourself way more than any cosmetologist will. Way more than any hairstylist will. And if you don't want to do it, what in the hell makes you think that a stranger wants to detangle your nasty hair that hasn't been washed in 7 months? In 7 weeks. These are the things that I want y'all to think about. So as you've been watching, right? This client that's sitting in my chair, she was doing her like wash and goes and things of that nature, and she ended up getting a curly cut. So her cut was really, really, really choppy. So I'm going in and I'm doing a certain type of haircut that is keeping me from cutting off the majority of her length, because I don't know if you can see it with the color of her hair, but she has quite a few holes, right? There are quite a few holes like within her hair at the bottom, but we were able to work it out. And so what we decided to do was go in and cut some layers, because with some layers, with the type of layers that I gave her, or that I'm about to give her in this video, well, yeah, that I gave her, because this video is about like 5, 6 years old. So I ended up giving her some layers, and with these layers you can't see the difference. But again, if she would have came to this appointment and she had just taken out braids and maybe took a wide tooth comb and combed through her hair, my baby, I would have turned her away the same way that girl at the very beginning was turned away. Why? Because I want to focus on the job that you booked me for. I'm not a maid. I'm not. And I don't offer a detangling service. So you're not going to force me to do a detangling, de-shedding, de-matting, and detoxification appointment when that's not what you booked. Because that sometimes that can take longer than the actual silk press does. And my clients are like saying bye to each other as they're leaving. Like one's walking out the door and one's coming in. So I don't have time for that. You adding on an extra hour to my day. Even if it's an extra 20 minutes, an extra 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. I don't have time for that. There's a reason why. So most of y'all like to be like comparing black salons to other salons. You want to know the difference? Black salons will tolerate y'all shit and other salons will not. They be like, bye, sorry, all money isn't good money. I don't need that. I'm sorry. No, thank you. No, thank you. Please come again. No, thank you. And that's a problem that a whole lot of y'all have. But at the end of the day, people are not obligated to do the things for you that you refuse to do for yourself. So if you didn't have the time, the patience, or the energy to detangle your dirty, matted hair, what makes you think that somebody whose job description, all they want to do when they get to work is do a regular detox shampoo, or not even detox, like a clarifying shampoo if they have to, or whatever type of shampoo their client needs, and then after that they want to do their conditioning, do their round brushing, flat iron real quick, and then get you on out of there. Don't nobody feel like doing no full revival on your scalp and on your hair shaft? We have to get to a point where we view ourselves as responsible for our own bodies, for our own hair. That's it, and that's all. And so the thing is, now today everybody's like, oh, these salons nowadays. No, these salons nowadays are now seeing their worth. A lot of y'all are not gonna like this, but I don't care. The older generations, like when my mama and my grandma was getting their hair done, yes, they was getting their hair done for $35, for $25. You want to know why? Because back then the cosmetologist, their booth rent was maybe like $50 a week. Well, guess what? In 2025, booth rent is about $360 a week, $400 a week. So no, she's not doing your silk press for $35. Absolutely not. She's not doing it for $45. Absolutely not. It's not happening. No. And what's happening now in 2025, people are like, oh, black women's prices are outrageous. But in my opinion, black women are now putting themselves on the same level as the rest of the hair industry. Because forever, since before I got my license, black women in this hair industry have been the laughing stock of the hair industry. Black women are the laughing stock of the hair industry. Because another woman of another race, her clients are sitting in her chair and minimum they drop it $150, no questions asked, with a $50, $60, $70, $80 tip. But black women is not like that. It's not like that. It's not. And we just saw how they feel. So this is the thing. We have to really, really sit down and ask ourselves, what have we done to feed into the reason that most cosmetologists that you want are hiding? Because again, all of the cosmetologists that I know that are like me, they don't want nobody promoting them online. They don't have YouTube channels. They barely have Instagrams. They're not promoting because they don't want any TikTok, any type of YouTuber reviewing type people. They don't want none of y'all. None of y'all. So again, I hope this conversation didn't make y'all mad, but if it did, whatever, I do not care, because we have to get to a point where we're able to have conversations with each other. You guys, there are amazing cosmetologists out here, but there are not that many amazing clients. They're not. The majority of black women look at other black women that do hair as maids, as servants. Their job or our responsibility is to do the things for you that you refuse to do yourself. No, that's not it. When you look at somebody's books, look at what services they provide, and if the service that you want is not on the books, they're not doing it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because cosmetologists are not maids, they're not servants, they're not cleanup women, they're not janitors, none of those things. They provide the services that they list, and if it's not listed, then you're not going to get the service. It's just as simple as that. I love y'all so much. I hope we can get to a place where we can have better decision making, and the woman that's sitting in the chair right now is amazing. And if all of my clients were like her, I would still be doing hair, but the majority of women are not. The majority of women are like the woman that y'all saw at the beginning of this video, and that is why the majority of black women cannot find cosmetologists like me. They are in absolute hiding. So let's talk in the comments. Let me know what you think about this video. Am I saying that all cosmetologists are great? No, I'm not. I showed y'all a dusty one in my last video. Link in the description box below. But everybody has to take accountability. And let me know in the description box below. Be honest in the description box, in the comments. Be honest. Are you a woman who believes that a cosmetologist's job is to detangle, detox, and all of the things? Like, their job is to do the things that you just refuse to do on your own hair? Do you really believe that? Or do you understand that a cosmetologist is a service provider, and she only provides the service that she tells you about, and only the thing that you pay for? I love you guys so much. Make sure you keep your post notifications on because we're getting into the science again tomorrow. But I just had to talk about this today. Bye.